So what do you think? Is this an old story? Is it an old story? You pretty sure? You know what? I'm pretty sure too. So let's see what the story is. It's an old story. You know how I can tell? We've seen this before, haven't we? Yeah, this is an old story. And this is a story that is part of all the stories that we call the Bible. And this is the story about the first time that people waved branches in a parade. Do you know that story? Well, let's hear this story. And this story begins in a big city. The city called Jerusalem. It was a big city. And right in the middle of the city was the temple, or the church. They called it a temple. And that was the place where the people believed that God dwelled on earth, was in this temple. And so, every year, there was a big, big celebration that happened in the city. And it was such an important celebration that thousands of people came from all around the city, all from the country, to Jerusalem. Thousands of people came. And the city got really, really crowded. And the reason that they came to celebrate was that there was a time, a long time before this, when they were slaves in another country. And they were freed from that. They were allowed, they finally escaped and came back to their country. And they celebrated that with a celebration called Passover. And it's still celebrated in the Jewish tradition today. It was a really big event. Now, there was a problem though, because even though the people were back in their own country, they were ruled by someone named Caesar. And Caesar lived far away. And Caesar thought he was God. And a lot of the people believed that Caesar was God. But he wasn't. But that's what they thought. And so, Caesar wanted to make sure that these people didn't cause any trouble. He wanted them to do what they were told in their country. And he did that by having a guy named Pilate, who actually lived away from Jerusalem. But he was the one that was going to make sure nobody caused any trouble. That was his job. So, this city had gates. It had gates because there was a wall around the city. You could only get into the city if you came through a gate. And so we had a gate on the west side, and we had a gate on the east side. And as all these people were coming into the city for this celebration, Pilate came through the west gate. But Pilate didn't come alone. He came Lots of them. Lots of them. Even more of them. Lots and lots of soldiers with lances and swords to make sure that nobody caused any trouble. Kind of scary, isn't it? All those soldiers. Well, that was the parade that was coming in on the west side. But at this gate, oh, I forgot one thing. Pilate came in on a great white steed, a great white horse. That's how he came into the city. Now, from this gate, maybe at the same time, maybe a little bit later, we're not sure, but this person appeared. You've seen him before. This is Jesus. And he came in through the east gate. And he came in on a donkey. A little baby donkey. And he came in with all the people that had been following him from Galilee, where he lived, to the city. And along the way, so these were his followers, but along the way, lots of other people joined him. And when they got to the city, they were so excited because they hoped that Jesus would be the new ruler. Not this guy, not that guy, but that Jesus would be the new ruler. Because they knew that Jesus knew what God wanted the world to be like. And so they were excited about Jesus coming into the city. And so excited that they threw their cloaks down in front of him like a carpet for him to walk on. And they cut branches along the road, and they waved the branches, and they threw them down as well, like this great carpet for Jesus to walk on. And there, in this big city with all these people, everybody watching what was going on, this parade met this parade. I wonder what Pilate thought. I wonder what he thought when he saw this parade. Think he was scared? All these people all shouting. They were shouting things like, Hosanna, hail the King. I wonder what Jesus thought when he saw this parade. Do you think he might have been scared? All those army people? I wonder what happened next. I wonder. I think you might find out what happens next at Children's Church. And so, if you want to follow the candle out, I think there'll be some things for you to do there. And you're going to be coming back later to join us for the communion. So I'll look forward to seeing you then. And we're going to sing More Voices, number 128. And